Hello, my spooky, wonderful friends, and welcome to my channel, Crafting with me, IndieAnnieJones. Let's see what spooky ideas I've come up with today. Ooh, something ghostly, something witchy, and something just for fun. My inspiration is this ghostly wraith for my first project. I don't know if you had the opportunity of seeing this, but from what I understand, this was at a lot of the Cracker Barrels and maybe at the at-home stores. They had two versions, one which was black, which was a witch, and this ghostly version. And I thought it was such an elegant portrayal of a ghost that I decided to recreate it myself. So I have my spooky little kudu cat. She's going to advise me on all things spooky when it comes to creating this ghost. And as you can see, I have it there in the background because I needed something as a reference to understand how this beautiful design came together. So whoever made this design originally, thank you so much for being the inspiration. And I have to say, oh, there's my other little kitty, Luna, if you haven't met her before, and she's trying to destroy what I've already worked on, and very relentlessly, I should say. I thought cats didn't like aluminum foil, but apparently she didn't care about that rule. Anyway, I made the arm. I added the aluminum foil to the arm as that will be the base for some of the sculpture. And I'm going to cover it all in saran wrap or cellophane or cling wrap, however you want to call it, so that I can put the clay all over it. And when I need to, I can remove the innards, that inside styrofoam, because I want it to have that hollowed out look. Now, kitty cats, move over. I need to bring out my foam clay. I love using foam clay. I know you've seen that before, and it's just so much fun to use because, first of all, it's very lightweight. It doesn't crack, and it has that beautiful white ghostly color, which is perfect for this project. And you know what else is perfect? All of you guys. I'm telling you, you guys have been such an inspiration to me over this last year. I have a lot of new folks that have joined who have subscribed to my channel, so I can't thank you enough for that. And of course, oh, peekaboo kudu, and of course, so many sweet dear friends who have been there with me, supporting me from the very beginning. So I can't thank you enough. I'm getting closer and closer to 20,000, so you are part of that. And most importantly, you're part of this crafty, creative community that is supportive and kind to each other, and I can't thank you enough for that. So if you have a channel, please make note of it in the comments below. Just tell me that you have a channel. I'd like to visit you. And if you're ever inspired by anything that I make, I would love to see you do it. And what I always say is, if you are inspired by myself or any other channel creator, YouTube creator, just make a mention of them, because that means the world to us. At least it does to me. I love to see that other people are inspired by something I've made, and I love it when I'm acknowledged or anyone else is acknowledged in that manner. So anyway, here I am continuing to drape that foam clay all over the styrofoam and the arm that I have put together. And at first, you could see how it's ripping, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh no, it's ripping, oh my goodness. But the best thing about foam clay is that it's very easy to add to what you've already structured. And one of the things I had to do was wait for the foam clay to dry a little bit and then add some more. And Luna is making her observations. She's my quality control cat. Look at the two of them have taken over the whole of my crafting area. So here they are in their tomfoolery as I'm finishing up, oh my goodness, as I'm finishing up my design. And I just wanted to continue crafting. I didn't even care that they were there anymore. I just wanted to finish this project. So here I am, and now it's almost dry. So now I was trying to make sure that everything was in place before I let it dry. Now I did let this dry for a few days. As you can see it there, now it's all stiffened up, and I did remove everything from the inside, but you'll have to wait for the final reveal and for these little kitty cats to wake up. Now I think they're tuckered themselves out. So wait for the final reveal. Now, look how lucky I was to find this at Michael's on clearance right after summer. Now, if you can't find this, you can always use a wire, a hoop, wreath, and a noodle. Or you can just add some styrofoam to any kind of hoop wreath that you can find. Now, you also need to add a cat. But if you do have a cat, the way to extract a cat is to give it a box or give it a windowsill where she will be more interested. Anyway, here I'm using my styrofoam to add a little more weight to this moon that I'm going to create. So I'm going to create like one of those vintage moons. I was inspired, of course, by Johanna Parker. I should call this like Inspiration Day. There you go. Cat in the box. Anyway, I took my styrofoam, I outlined it so I can cut it out with my styrofoam cutter. I couldn't do it on camera because of course I have my kitty cat there. Now I'm using some white sheet foam to glue it to the other side. Since it's got that netting, I'm just putting hot glue to go to both the outside styrofoam, and this is going to be the back of the moon. I don't know if that makes sense. Does it make sense? That way it adheres to the foam sheet and the styrofoam on the other side. Now guess what I'm using again? It's foam clay. This is foam clay day, people. Again, because I enjoy using the foam clay. It is so easy to use, and especially since I'm going to create a moon, it is going to be the perfect medium to create a vintage moon. And yes, my cat sleeps like that in a tiny little box, and she likes the tiny little box. I've tried to get her bigger boxes because she's gotten so much bigger from when she was a kitten last year. And no, she prefers the little Dollar Tree shoe boxes. I've tried, and you can see the lightning outside there. I hope you saw the lightning. But it was a very dark and stormy night when I was making this. Literally. I should add some thunder into my voiceover to go with the lightning outside. Now, all I'm doing is just pressing out the foam clay. And this takes a little while, but just using a little, and this is a perfect little roller because it's a silicone roller, so it doesn't stick to the clay at all. I think I got this from Toomey. There's some more lightning. And I was trying to get it as thin as possible to cover that huge area of the moon on that wreath. I've always wanted a moon wreath, so this is my attempt to make one for myself. Now, all I've done here is just drape the clay all over the styrofoam. As you can see there, I've melded it all together. And again, as I've done with dry clay in the past, I make sure that my hands or my fingers are moist. I just dip them in water so that it's easy to apply the clay to each other and you don't see the seams. I had to do this in 3 parts because it's so large. And it's seamless because I'm able to blend it together. Now I'm adding some pock marks, I don't know how to call it, or divots with my little tool here because, of course, you know, the moon is made out of cheese. Didn't they used to say the moon was made out of cheese? It's very strange. But yeah, it does have these, you know, indentations, so it looks very natural. Now, I don't know what happened to the camera there, but I was sculpting the parts of the eyes and the nose and the cheeks. And all I did, of course, with the cheeks, just added it on as I have before. And the same thing with I've just made like some tubes like I'm doing here for the mouth. And again, I'm just wetting the clay so that it adheres more seamlessly. And there you can see the cute little smile. And again, I apologize that I don't have all of me, you know, just doing all of the parts of the moon, but you can see it's very simple and easy to do. For some reason, the camera had stopped and I had not noticed it since it's sitting right over my shoulder. I'm trying to find out what's the best way, what's the easiest angle for you to see everything that I'm doing. And for this particular project, it was easier to be over my shoulder so you can see the details of everything I was doing, even though you didn't see everything I was doing because, well, the camera stopped, you know, those kind of things. But regardless, you can see how I'm creating the eye. Now, this is the inside of the eye, the little eyeball. And again, I'm just doing like, it's like an oval, but it has the bottom is squared off so that it can fit right in. Instead of like diving and doing it into the eye itself, I just added this extra little piece of clay just to give it some added dimension. And of course, using my tool, I made the little eyeball. And it just came together so nicely. I was so happy with how this came out and how it was sculpted. So once I was done putting everything together, I did need to put it aside just so that it would dry. And it took probably, I would say, a few hours. And since it's so large, I made sure that I let it dry overnight. And little Luna, since she's the perfect cat as I make my moon, since Luna is moon in Spanish. So she just awoke, I think, because of all the thunder. And again, all I'm doing here is just making sure that everything is seamless, that you don't see a lot of unnecessary markings or fingerprints. And now I'm going to create a little witch, because I've always loved the little vintage moon with a witch sitting upon the moon, enjoying the beauty of a Halloween night. Now, this little doll came from Temu. I think she was only like $1.95 or something, or $2.34, very inexpensive. And I'm using this satin pillowcase from the Dollar Tree. Now, sometimes you don't think of using, Dollar Tree items for their fabrics, and I use it a lot because I think it's much cheaper to buy a pillowcase for $1.25 than to actually buy the satin. And using my cute little HTV Ront little heat press, instead of not a heat mini press, a little mini iron, I'm making her skirt. And if you noticed, I did give her underwear, Halloween themed underwear, and a bra, because I didn't want her to just sitting around with all her privates, just hanging out. So I just added some elastic to her skirt. I didn't sew this one like I did the last one. I just glued it together, and look how cute. It just has that cute little 50s kind of look. I wanted to make her like a vintagey kind of witch. And now I decided to make her little shirt out of this Dollar Tree fabric. Isn't this darling? How have I not used this for any other crafts so far for Halloween? I feel like Halloween is just around the corner, and I still have so much I want to do, but I also have to start focusing on Christmas to get my stuff ready for the Christmas decorations that I have to make. Anyway, here I'm just making her a little tank top. It's the cutest little tank top with little Halloween pumpkins to go over. And yes, I removed her head because her head's too big, and the only way I was going to get that shirt on is removing her head. So it's a little creepy, little doll head just sitting there by itself. But it worked out fine. It worked out fine. I have to say, I like this doll because it was articulated, so I can move the arms, the legs, the knees, the ankles, the wrists, everything. Now, before I put the head on, I wanted to add like some nice, cute little sleeves, and I had this polka dotted tulle, which I thought was perfect. And of course, no witches can be made without Kuru around. She has some kind of experience with all things witchy, and yeah, she was about to tear apart my little doll head. Oh my goodness, these cats. If you're not a cat lover, I apologize. Not, for my video, but I'm just sorry that you can't see the fun in having a cat, because it keeps life interesting. I'll tell you that. Cats and dogs and pets and children and husbands keep life interesting. Anyway, so all I'm doing now is I made her little sleeve. I made it nice and voluminous. And now I'm just adding one of those tiny micro little rubber bands, the clear ones. And that made a perfect little ruffled sleeve for her. Look how pretty that looks. So elegant. So elegant for a date with the moon. And here I am doing the other sleeve. And just in case you didn't see it properly, all I did was gather it up, glued it to some ribbon. And then the ribbon I glued to the actual dress, and that ribbon actually became a decor for the front of the dress. I added this cute little bat sticker, and it looks like it was like a gold pin that she has on the front of her dress, and I thought that was perfect. And again, I just used the rubber band, and there she is with her little head on. Now, I did do something silly. I thought I could fix her face a little bit and make her eyes not so big. I did my best. You'll see later. Now let's paint this wonderful little moon. I let it dry for at least a day or two. And look how cute he looks. He looks so cute. So here I'm just watering down. I'm using browns and beiges and grays to help colorize this moon. And I did add a little bit of cream so it wasn't a perfectly white moon. And you can see there on my phone I had the inspiration, which was from Johanna Parker. And again, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm inspired by other artists. I have to say that's what makes me want to make things for myself, because it's like, how can I make something like that? Even though that wasn't a 3D moon, it was a printout. So now I have to make my little witchy hat. And you saw me make a witchy hat for my other doll. I used a heat gun. Now for this one, since I have the cats right there, I decided to use my little mini press, which is perfect. You heat up the foam sheet, and it makes it very malleable, very easy to shape and form. And all I'm doing here is gluing the foam sheet to create the witch's hat. And again, like I did last time, I curled the end of the witch's hat, and I was able to manipulate the witch brim to make it look really cutesy. Now you'll have to wait till the end of the video to see the final reveal. Now, I decided to do something a little different from Halloween, and it was because this company, Tardigrade, reached out to me and asked me to give a review of their product. And I said, sure, what is it? And they told me it was fairy garden accessories. 200 pieces of fairy garden accessories. There you can see some of the little houses that were included, including that cute little, oh my gosh, they have so many cute little things. But they had, you know, that little mushroom, the little, oh, so many things. They had little, look at the little bridge, the little fences. So even a camel was in there. They have flamingos, which I'm thinking of using for Alice in Wonderland. So many tiny, cute little beautiful things. And I was being very careful that, you know, Guru didn't take anything or bite anything. They had little unicorns, just everything you could possibly need to create a garden, a fairy garden. And this would be such a cute little idea to get together with your children if you want to, if they're not too young, and play with this little fairy garden accessory set. Now I had this terrarium, and I decided to create a little, I don't know, like a little vignette within the terrarium. So using some styrofoam, I'm going to create that as the base. I just thought it would be really cute to create like a little village scene, so a little cottagecore scene. But again, there were so many mushrooms. I wanted to make earrings out of it, but I was trying to figure out how to make the earrings, how to add the, you know, earring part for these little mushrooms that they had. So all I'm using here for the hill of this little village, and I'm sorry my hand is, you know, obscuring that, but I'm painting this half mushroom green so that I can now cover it with Mod Podge and subsequently cover it in moss. I thought this would be a perfect little way to create a vignette. So here I am trying to get all of the small pieces of moss by cutting it up for my little mound there, my little mountain. Sorry that I'm off camera there, but here I'm just gluing everything little by little to that mound. Now, yes, it does fit into that terrarium. Is it called a terrarium? I think so. So all I'm going to do now is place some more moss and place that into the terrarium. I got nervous for a minute. I thought it wasn't going to fit, but yeah, it fit perfectly. So I just glued it to the bottom of that terrarium, and I found this at the Dollar Tree. And all I'm going to do is add a few of the accessories from that tardigrade. And there you see I have this tiny little house, which I think is so cute, so perfect. And I thought this would be adorable. Look at the little houses. Imagine making a little Christmassy scene with that. Now, you know, you need a ladder or some way to get up to that house. So I was trying to figure out how to add the little ladder there. They also had some steps, but I want to use that for something else. I could have made it spooky for Halloween, but I just kept it like, you know, a pastoral kind of scene for this terrarium. And I added these cute little cows, and there you have it. So remember to check down below in the description to get your own tardigrade fairy accessories. Thank you once again, sweet friends, for stopping by and sharing a spooky moment with me. I hope I've inspired you to get ready for Halloween by creating something of your own for your home. As I always say, stay safe, be kind, God bless each and every one of you. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And come back soon for more spooky good fun.